Okay.
Wakanda forever.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining in on the conversation today. This is James from the I'm Free Project. Thank you to all the new subscribers, to everyone who has joined in on the conversations here. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and hit the notification button as well so you'll know when I release a brand new video. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself on this new video. He's back in town. It's the yellow guy himself. Go for it.
I'm not yellow. Okay. So, for those who do not know me already, and I was in James's previous video, my name is John, and I am his son.
Oh, I'm James now? Really?
Dad,
okay,
whatever.
I'm just saying, I paid your bills now, I'm just saying.
Okay, we'll put respect on your name.
Respect.
Anyway. But yeah, I'm John, I'm his son. I've recently been away for the past couple of months, just going off and showing what the Lord has for me. So.
He's been in... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say that?
Don't tell my business.
Oh, okay. Well, I've already put it out there anyway. Now, what are we here for today?
Today, we will be discussing the Black Panther.
The Black Panther.
Awesome. Oh, you're so bad.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. You clicked on this video. There are many spoilers inside. So just
don't
beware.
watch.
I mean, you can watch if you love spoilers, but I'm just saying. There are many.
Yeah. There
just
many,
beware.
In the video,
So,
there are many spoilers.
Yeah, there's a lot. We basically break down the movie for you if you don't want to go see it or have...
Or if you've already seen
no
it. And you just want to hear a Christian perspective and our points of view.
Yeah.
You know, the poppin' son, old man, young man, Christian perspective.
Yeah, he's old.
Anyway. So
he's T'Chaka old. Like, almost in the ground.
I'm one of the ancestors.
Old. We're going to have to bury you soon.
Stop. Now, and just so you know, that these shares right here are actually from Ghana. I went to Ghana back in 2000, and I brought back, you know, a couple of pieces from Ghana. And actually, a couple other things as well. But anyway, but yeah, so these are actually from the land of Africa. In my best, I guess, African tone, let's start the review.
Wow.
All right. So anyway, so now what we're going to talk about here, and it's really from it's from an entertainment / Christian perspective. Now, the reason I want to do this video because I think some people on Facebook have just really taken this a little bit too far, and especially believers. Here, we are just going to take it purely from an entertainment perspective, and then I'm going to come back to it and look at it from a Christian perspective and what some of the symbolism, symbolic things that I saw within the movie that had my eyebrow to raise a little bit. So now, overall hype of the film. Was it up to par and was it worth it? What's your say?
I say it was totally worth it.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It
not.
Introduced a lot of new factors from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that have never been introduced before. So Wakandan technology is completely different from the highest standard of American technology, which we have as Iron Man.
That's why I call him a black nerd.
I just know.
Go
You know, it's a lot different. So I saw a lot of new aspects of this movie introduced through their technology. And it was really interesting to see how they incorporated the backstory of who Wakanda was into, like, their next generation of warriors.
You mean the land of Wakanda, what it's about and all that?
Kind of like what it's about, but like it introduced its backstory on who they were. But yeah, it introduced a lot of new aspects. Okay, you're interrupting me. Oh. He's about to get clawed. So let's start with the actors and actresses in the film. Overall, I thought they were great. I thought the cast was actually really good. I think Michael B. Jordan was probably the best villain in a Marvel movie overall, just period. I think he was the best one.
I saw a better villain in the reenactment of the stage play when I was in 3rd grade, and somebody was trying to go for the kill of one of our former presidents of the United States.
Not true. No, Michael B. Jordan had a plan. He even secluded himself on set for 9 months.
No hate to Michael B. Jordan.
Prior to this film.
He did what?
He secluded himself. He just completely went into isolation by himself for 9 months that this film.
But how does that improve your acting skills?
It showed who Killmonger was, because Killmonger had been.
No, it showed that he was running from the feds. That's what
he wasn't running from anybody. The only thing that was running was T'Challa at the end of the movie. In all honesty, because he got his tail whooped at first, which I was really shook by personally, because I was expecting him to win, but it was disappointing.
You expecting who to win?
T'Challa.
No. Well, you know, I mean, I guess from a typical standpoint of good versus evil, you do expect for the good to triumph. But you know what? Actually, there's no way he could have been gone. Even when he fell down, I knew there was some kind of big spiritual thing that was going to happen. He was going to be pulled in or survived somehow. Or maybe he landed on a pillow at the bottom of that water, and the angels or the ancestral spirits just picked him up or something like that. I knew it wasn't going to be like okay,
that aspect,
he would have been
because like everybody knows that like you can't kill off the main character in the middle of the movie.
Exactly.
And expect him to stay dead, like, the entire movie up until the end. But that was just really weird. I feel like that aspect of the movie could have been cut out and replaced with something else. Like, instead of actually killing T'Challa, like they thought they did, what he could have done is maybe gone to see Captain America. Because Cap is in Wakanda, along with Bucky. So.
So for me, the movie hype, it built it up more than what it actually was. And that's just for me. That's my opinion. You know, everybody, I mean, people dressing in their African garb, they're coming, they're dancing out the movie theater, you know, and doing all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? Why, you know, you saw the viral video of the young kids, hey, you know, doing all that because they got free tickets to the movie. And I'm like, you know, but then again, it appealed to this generation. So therefore I can understand. Now, and here's another perspective on the movie for me as an African American. The fact of the matter is, for my Caucasian evangelicals out there, please understand, and for those who didn't understand, and actually YouTube Ben Shapiro, I love you and I love watching your videos. I mean, I've already said Ben Shapiro for 2020, but look up Ben Shapiro. But anyway, yeah, the thing is that it is a very positive film and showing the richness of Africa and its people. And so therefore, for us as African Americans, it meant a lot to see that. Not anymore downtrodden, enslaved, and waiting on a white Jesus or somebody to come save us. No, it shows the power of our people and the land of which we came. So with that being said, that's why African Americans were so hyped about the film. In one aspect. Now, I'm sure there are other aspects as well.
I thought the fact that African Americans were portrayed as royalty this time. And the movie
you know, you're light skinned.
I mean, yeah, but come on. Still. I just thought that was really important to me. That's what stuck out to me the most, is like you saw that like if you go to Africa, it is not just poor people huddling around with a stick and shepherds and stuff. It is there is royalty, there is riches, there are many opportunities given.
There are riches?
There are many riches on that nation.
In that continent?
On the whole nation of Africa, there's so many riches.
Is that a nation? It's a continent.
No, it's my nation.
Okay. I think we need to go back to anyway. So I'm just messing with him. So with that aspect, moving right along from the movie hype and get into another aspect. Okay, so now the second aspect I want to talk about was the level of action. Now, what did you think about it?
The action I thought was good, but there were some things that had me confused as to why the suit did what it did. They never explained the science fully behind that.
She gave some. It was the vibranium. Vibranium, excuse me.
Wow.
Dang.
But yeah, they just never really went in depth as to what it was. They told you it came from space, but they never really told you how they incorporated it into other materials, like the suit. Captain America's shield is half vibranium. Bucky's new arm will be vibranium.
Really?
Yeah.
Captain America's shield has some vibranium.
It has
wow.
Half vibranium.
So now, okay,
that's
maybe
why it's so indestructible.
Maybe I like it a little bit more now, just knowing that background, that history. Okay, I see you.
That's why when Thor's hammer hit it, the shield didn't crack into many pieces because it's vibration.
It's all tying together now in my old brain.
Yep.
Okay. Well, for me,
I didn't like the car chase sequences. I thought those could have been. I thought those could have been a little better.
Yeah.
Simply because, like you said, you've seen people stop and just like break in the middle of the road to hit somebody in the car. But the only thing that impressed me so far about the car chase was T'Challa was able to keep up in his suit.
Yeah.
And Dinah Guerrera, shout out to you. That's Michonne from The Walking Dead. By the way. She threw her spear and it landed in the street and it stopped the car entirely.
Right.
That was probably the most impressive thing.
That was cool. I mean, I thought that was a cool thing. But see, here it is. I am, being 47 years old. When The Matrix came out, cinematography in that movie was astounding. To the point where, I literally heard people in the movie theater go, because it took your breath when you saw, what was her name that came up like that? I can't even think of her name right now.
Is it Trinity?
Trinity. When Trinity came up like that, she kicked that dude and that camera angle went all the way around her. Or then in part 2, when you had Morpheus on top of the truck with the Chinese man, and the two trucks collided, and you saw the ripple of the truck and the big explosion, and then Neo came and saved both of them. You're talking about some technology in film that literally blew you away, and it was groundbreaking. It changed the way people had to shoot film after that. And for me, what I saw in Black Panther is just recycled technology in terms of and I may not, I don't work graphics. I don't know in that regard to that level. However, from what I've seen and the things that have impressed me, nothing beats The Matrix. And I feel like Matrix set the bar, and everything that comes after that, because you can't beat that scene when that helicopter crashes into the side of that building on The Matrix.
You actually see the building absorb and then ripple and then explode. I have to give you props on that.
And Trinity hanging off that third
rope. I'll give you some props on The Matrix. I will definitely give you props on it, because the gunplay, like when they went to go rescue Morpheus in the building, the gunplay was absolutely incredible. Not only like TV today, they have a real problem with a lot of gunplay where you'll see them shooting, but you'll never see them reload the gun. They'll just like drop it and that'll be it. But in The Matrix, they did a really good job of that. Like they show you reloading the gun, they show you lining up their shot, but they also show you like some things that shouldn't be possible, just because they're getting a grip on who they are and what their powers are.
And then even when they were, they be fighting the fight sequences, they're turning flips and all that kind of stuff, and the camera's coming around, the angles and all that. When Trinity hit that wall and she did a flip out, okay, now this is turning into a review of The Matrix. Sorry about that. We're going to get back.
We really like The Matrix here.
Right. So with that, in my opinion, now with that being said, when I look at the Black Panther, I'm like, it was okay. It gave you a little something. But, it wasn't anything where I'm like, oh my gosh, I just saw some amazing CGI or whatever. It was okay.
I thought how they communicated. Do you remember that part when like they make calls and then the beads come up to form the actual person, was cool. And then they can see
that was
all
cool.
That's around them? Yeah. I think that's really cool. And the card, when they started the car chase scene,
the way that came up though, it looked like an afternoon special.
No,
I'm sorry. When he had held his hand out, and what's her name came up, the bald headed girl, it looked like an afternoon special. I could have did that on ABC.
No, I
could have watched that on Disney.
I thought that was something special, just because the way that they formed. All right.
This is just my opinion.
No, you're entitled to your opinion. There were some problems with the movie. It could have been better, but I thought it lived up to what was said.
Stand your ground. You ain't got to apologize to me. If
why would I
like
you an apology?
I'm just saying if you really liked it like that, I'm just saying.
I liked the stuff behind that. I liked was the actual vibranium and how they used it to like drive. They used it to communicate. They incorporated it in their stuff. They could have done a better job explaining how they do that. I love the fact that she took something, she just stuck it in her hand, and then all of a sudden you just see gray shards of metal form into a person.
That's true.
And then that person starts
like when
to
those
talk.
Trucks were moving.
And when in the first part of the movie when he's just like sees his girlfriend in the truck. Yeah,
so that was cool. So it had some good technology in there. And I liked how, with the suit and all that kind of stuff, the sister was the technological brain behind all of the crafting.
She was a teenager, too.
She was cool. I liked, some of the things that she produced. Now, in terms of, what they showed that they produced, it seemed like I've seen it before. In terms of, you're not necessarily being in the action, but you are in the action from afar, almost like a VR kind of experience. Matrix, plugged in the neck, You physically weren't there, but you were actually somewhere else. But if you got killed in the Matrix, you actually died
dead in real life.
In the chair. So, exactly. So, to me, it was a bite off of that as well. Now, here we go. Now, from a Christian perspective, like I said, I think, I've seen some people posting on Facebook saying, I'm not going to go see the movie because it has a lot of, witchcraft and all that kind of stuff, so forth and so forth. Here's the deal. The thing for me as a believer, I looked at it from purely an entertainment perspective. I'm not going in and saying, ooh, because here's the thing. There are scenes of ancestor worship. There are scenes of regeneration via burial through ancestral worship, and you have an experience with the ancestors, and then you come, quote unquote, come back to life, almost born again into this new variant of, a lot of rituals. There are a lot of rituals. Then there's the drinking of this particular herb that turns them into the Black Panther. So was it ritualistic? Were there things in there that, of course, we as believers should not observe in our lifestyle? Absolutely. Absolutely. I do not tell anyone to go in this movie and say, oh, okay, there's some, go and just absorb it all and this and that. No, look at it from a purely entertainment perspective and understanding that within African culture, there are a lot of rituals. You still have to be careful with that. There's voodoo, there's witchcraft, there's voodoo and witchcraft in America. Every single day you turn that TV, there's something going on, this and that. So, I mean, when you look at it and say, okay, this is just merely entertainment, and that, I'm not going to go and be possessed. I'm not going to open. I'm not going to believe that this is the way that I need to communicate, because I'm not communicating with the dead. Let the dead bury the dead. I'm not communicating with the dead. If you're gone, you're gone. It is what it is. Bye.
About it.
Holla.
Not playing with a Ouija board, bro.
Gots to go.
Nah, it's not happening.
Don't take it that far. Don't take it that far. So
are you saying they shouldn't take it that far? Or they don't take it personally, or
don't take it personally?
Movies don't take it.
No, I'm just saying to people, don't take it so deep. Don't look at so deep into it from that regard.
I agree.
As a believer, it's like, okay, I'm going to go see Black Panther. Yes, there are some things that to me is like this. If you're educated in the things of God and the spiritual game is on, then you know what you're looking at, and you're able to say, okay, that's witchcraft, and that's going to stay right there. I'm not bringing that home. I'm not going to just start indulging. However, if that's something that, that God is telling you should participate in, then don't. Then don't look at it. Don't go to the movie. Don't go see the film. Don't support it. It's totally understandable. Yeah. Some people's liberties everybody's liberties are in different places. So therefore, where you may be able to go do this and this other person can't go do that. That's it. So
for me, I also want to just say to the viewers,
I went a little bit too long.
No, I mean, like, you're right. Just like going into a movie like that it has many African principles, and you're going into deep Africa, you should expect to see what we saw, some witchcraft and very ritualistic stuff. I chose to ignore all of those, but there was some stuff that like raised awareness, and it caught my attention fairly well. But overall, I say I went for entertainment purposes as well. Right. Because being the Marvel nerd that I am, I went to find out where the last Infinity Stone was.
With the emphasis on nerd.
Yeah. It wasn't. I don't think that you should go into the movie already judging it like, oh, this might be weird. Oh, this is going to be strange. I think that
don't put me under a voodoo spell.
Exactly. Don't go in there thinking like you're going to come out like completely tripped out.
Right.
You're not.
Full of possession and demons. And I give them kudos on this, though, is that I only heard, the SH, that the S word twice. I only heard it twice. Whereas, on the average, you might hear, the S word, because there's a couple of movies that I just wouldn't watch anymore, simply because they just cuss too much due to the language. Other than some mild violence and a couple of places where they said the S word, but that was it.
Yeah, there was only one thing that took me by surprise, and it was when the sister flicked him off at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That took me by surprise. That was pretty much the only thing. He's got a point. There was not much language involved. Right. I didn't really see any blood.
Think about it.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that. They hid a lot of scenes. The fight sequences were perfect, but they pretty much kept it clean. They hid the blood very well.
Yeah, they pretty much kept it clean. So, if I had to give it 10 stars. Out of 10, I would give it a 7.5, pushing on an 8 if they changed a couple of elements in it. And for me, that's just my opinion. It wasn't a perfect movie. It wasn't to me. I mean, there's a segment in there I fell asleep.
Yeah, I actually had to wake him up. Wow, that was so... I felt so embarrassed, and I am so grateful that the theater was black, like pitch black, so people couldn't see him. Although in the movie, we heard somebody...
Yeah, somebody was back there
Somebody
snoring.
was snoring loud enough to the point where we heard them.
Yeah, somebody was snoring. But yeah, so I fell asleep in one segment because it just slowed down. It slowed down, and the story wasn't strong enough for me to hold my my intellectual attention in order for me to stay awake. Now, if the story was strong enough to hold that attention as well as just the entertainment aspect of it, then I would have been like, oh my gosh, you know, something that really made you think. Whereas for me, with the Matrix, it held both my intellect and my need to be entertained. So that's why with that movie, I never fell asleep whatsoever.
I think for me, if I had to rank it out of 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I'd have to give it an 8. Possibly. I'd give it an 8. They did really good.
I don't know, the way that you were singing the Wakanda song out of there, it seemed like to me you would probably give it a 10.5 or 11.
I'd give it an 8 because there were some things that I was expecting to happen that didn't happen, and I was looking for something and I didn't find it, and the movie was all over the place, but they kept it in a circle to a T, and I didn't like how they killed off Eric Killmonger, because I felt like there could have been a lot of range for his character.
Okay.
Just because of the stuff that he would do.
I have no idea who that is.
Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought Michael B. Jordan coming in as an American Wakandan.
Yeah, he was
just started speaking perfect English. I thought that was the funniest thing.
All right, guys, thank you for joining today on our free project. This was just our little mini review.
Yeah.
So we may do something else next week. So pay attention to that and share this video. And remember, as always,
Wakanda forever.